What's going on? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, live here in Buffalo as Carolina Panthers are preparing to take on the Buffalo Bills for their final preseason matchup. A little bit late this morning. This was one at 11 o'clock. We got to push it to 11:15, but nevertheless, we're here. We're going to get you ready for this matchup. I'm going to let you guys soak in the scene behind me for a second as I get ready to get the notes. I wanted to go ahead and go live because I know you guys were waiting. But what's up, T Green? One of our members has already signed on. Corey, Sean, Donald. Yeah, we're going to get you ready for this Buffalo Bills matchup. So give me just a second. I'm going to make one more change here, get my notes going, and let's start to have some fun. All right, so let's go ahead and did I do my formal introduction? I don't know if I did, so let me just start over. Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, AKA Man of the People, because you have a friend in the media, which is myself, here to get you ready to watch this Buffalo Bills matchup today with the Carolina Panthers and get to see our starters playing. So we got a lot lined up for you today. We're going to go over some important news from the week, get you some latest transactions, tell you how to watch the game, talk to you about some important dates that are coming up in the league, as well as talk about this matchup. And I'm gonna give you a little tease, right? For this matchup today, obviously our starters are going to be playing. We don't know how much they're going to be playing. I was actually able to see Coach Dave Canales in the tunnel as I was walking onto the field. He looks like typical Dave, just ready to go. He's excited. And speaking of excited, how are you feeling about today's game? Are you optimistic? Are you excited? What are you looking for? Let me show you this. I can guarantee you one guy's excited right here. That was our guy Dave Canales earlier in the week, the last practice before this game, dancing around. Now, it wasn't so much the music, because he said it was some hip-hop playing, and he talked about his thing being like reggae and other genres, but he just likes to feed off the excitement of the moment. And that moment is here today where our starters will be playing. So again, we're going to go through some things, which also towards the end, we're going to take your questions, so stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and start with this. How do you watch today's game that starts at 1 o'clock Eastern? So, easiest way for most people that are watching me online, just go ahead and continue to watch online. Go to Panthers.com and you can watch the game live on Panthers.com. Also, for those local in Charlotte, channel 46 WJZY is where you'll be able to catch the game as well. So let's go ahead and get you up to date with the most recent transactions. We're also going to talk to you about the inactives for today. So today is obviously looking to be the day that we're not going to have a laundry list of 20, 30 plus guys. It should only be a handful of guys, but let's go ahead and get you up to date with the latest transactions. Oh, not that screen there. This one right here. So earlier this week, just a couple days ago, we traded linebacker Michael Barrett to Seattle for cornerback Michael Jackson. That was important because we had lost Dane Jackson, a cornerback, for about 6 weeks. Excuse me. And then recently we also activated, sorry about that. Recently we activated offensive tackle Yosh Nijman from the physically unable to perform list. So that's good news for him because we had until the preseason to activate him, which allows him to be ready for week 1 if he's cleared to do so. Otherwise, if we had not activated him prior to the preseason ending, it'll be 4 weeks that we have to wait to see him. So those are, again, your latest transactions for this Carolina Panthers team as they get ready to take on the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to try to keep an eye out and try to show you guys some of the things that I may see behind me. Looks like the Panthers are warming up on the opposite side of the field where I'm at. So if that continues to be the case, unfortunately, I will not be able to show you any of that video. All right, let's also go over some important dates that are coming up for this team and everybody in the NFL for that matter. We got a few important dates coming up. Tuesday, August 27th is the major day. This Carolina Panthers team, as well as all the teams in the league, will be cutting their players down to their 53-man roster. They have until 4 p.m. New York time that the clubs must reduce their rosters to the maximum of 53 players on the inactive list. Additionally, the very next day we're going to have some more changes that are taking place. That will be claiming of players off of waivers to do their final, the practice squad players. So they have until the next day, Wednesday at noon, to declare all of their practice squad players. And that'll be 16 players that they're able to add onto the roster at that time. So expect a lot of movement starting Tuesday morning and going for about 48 hours through the day on Wednesday. I did just see a few players walking by. And let's see, let me go ahead and step to the side for a second. Let you all soak in this scene for a second, and then we'll get into some more of the show. Again, I will take your questions as I always do after I get you up to date with all the latest information about this team. I think for the most part right now you just got some coaches that are saying what's up to other people that they know. Also saw Sean McDermott walking through the tunnel. And it was interesting. There's Bryce Young, so I'll stay here for a second to let you guys see Bryce. Bryce Young warming up. He's about to come to the screen in just a second, doing his normal walkthrough. So you should be able to see Bryce walking through the screen now. Yep, and he just took off. We also see a little bit of Trevin Wallace right there as well. Trevin getting warmed up. I'm gonna make my way back into the screen here to continue to talk to you guys. So what I can do is tell you about exactly where my notes was. All right, give me just a second. I lost my notes about where I want to go to today. All right, a few other things. So I was talking about the players and coaches, and that I saw Coach Sean McDermott walking out. And it was interesting. He started walking out the tunnel. He's been here for a number of years. I forget exactly. I want to say like 6, 7, could be wrong. I know he's been here for a number of years. He walked halfway down the tunnel and then just stopped like he was going to soak it in. You know, I don't know if that's his tradition, but it's, to me, just cool to see how coaches and players, what their traditions are, how they interact, how they move around before a game starts. But let's go ahead and talk about McDermott. He was a former Panthers defensive coordinator, and he is currently 1-1 in this preseason. The Buffalo Bills have not scored a touchdown this preseason. So if you've been wondering about the concerns of the Panthers, are you alone? No, you're not alone. There's other teams that have concerns too, as again, they are 1-1 and have not scored a touchdown. The Bills lost 33-6 against the Chicago Bears, and then they followed that with a win, 9-3 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, they will not be playing their starters today. We will be playing our starters, but Coach McDermott had wanted to play his starters, but then injuries started to mount up, and he's like, you know what, we're just going to pause the starters playing for now, and they're going to have 2s, 3s, et cetera, playing today. But again, Carolina Panthers will have their starters out there. Another little connection in terms of Buffalo and Carolina. My first time being in Carolina North, as we like to call it. The Carolina Panthers, Dan Morgan, now general manager for the Carolina Panthers, was the director of personnel for 3 years up here in Buffalo. As well as there's another significant connection. Brandon Beane, the general manager for the Buffalo Bills, also spent some considerable time for Carolina, and he's now with the Bills. So those are some of the connections that you have for today. All right, who will you be watching today? Now, obviously all eyes are going to be on Bryce Young, this offensive line, these receivers, and seeing just how they perform today. And I got a question for you that we're going to talk about here in a second, but I'm going to switch to the defensive side because I had a chance to talk to a young gentleman that's an undrafted free agent, Damani Richardson, who's been having a pretty good camp. He had a really solid week last week in practice, as well as joint practice with the Jets, and then had a great game against the Jets. Now, again, he was playing against second, third teamers, and his interception was against, I believe, the fourth string quarterback for the Jets. But, you know, is he going to make this team? He's been doing well. He seems to be trending in that direction. I had a chance to talk with him one-on-one this week. Just want to play a quick clip of that in case you have not seen it.
So just making those plays, just it gave me a little bit of confidence. I always have confidence though, but it just gave me like a sense that like I can want me to like do it again. Like I want to do it again. Yeah. So I just got to keep making plays. And as far as like making a team, I just don't really think about that. I just think about controlling what I can control. Practicing hard each and every day, going out and playing my best out on the preseason game, and just like executing the game, playing hard and physical each and every play.
All right, so that was my one-on-one with Damani Richardson. And if you haven't seen that full video, you can just click on the link. If you're on YouTube, look at the playlist for my one-on-one interviews and you'll be able to see that. Got to do my famous drink of water because I did not hydrate properly enough before the game. But again, you'll get to see some action behind me here. Got to stay hydrated. It is a little warm here in Buffalo. So, Damani Richardson, that's the guy who I'm going to be watching. But let's go ahead and talk about this, all right? Here's what we're going to talk about. Panthers are playing their starters. I was enjoying, what's the name of the place? I went to the famous wing place last night with our photographer, Patrick Snyder. We were talking about today's game and the fact that the starters will be playing. And his comments were that it was a lose-lose situation. And I actually saw this morning on Twitter. Some people are feeling the same way. And that if the Carolina Panthers do well, they're going to say, well, so what? They were playing against Buffalo Bills backups. And if they do terrible, well, then you're going to be like, well, we're terrible. So it's almost like a lose-lose situation. Here's my take on that, and I want to get you guys' take. And we're certainly, at this point, going to go into the interactive part of the show. Before today, I've had the opportunity to watch. I've only missed one training camp, so I don't know what the number was, but let's say it was about 20 practices, 15, 20 practices. And I've already started to have a feeling that this defense for the Carolina Panthers, pretty solid, pretty good. They seem to have even more emphasis on taking the ball away. And maybe it's not more emphasis. Maybe it's just the fact that Coach Ivero in his second year with some returning players are able to get the message deeper into the culture of that defense, where they're always trying to get that ball away, the peanut punch as they call it, and create some turnovers. So I feel like our defense is pretty good. Even though we've had some injuries, we've lost some guys, and still dealing with some of that right now with the latest transactions that have taken place. But the defense, I feel, is going to be solid. My observation so far for this offense has been that it's inconsistent. I feel like we, for once in recent time, have the tools to be a respectable offense. I've seen Bryce Young do things that has finally started to catch my attention as far as moving around, throwing the deep ball. And by the way, will we see him throw the deep ball? I don't know if we'll see him throw the deep ball, but sorry, I got distracted there by something on the screen. But I have seen him throw it in practice and connect on it, which is a promising sign. I've seen him move around, step in the pocket, tuck the ball and run. I feel like he's going to be safe with his run, and I do feel like he's more inclined to run, not like a Lamar Jackson just take off, but I feel like he's going to move around. So basically, I've seen promise on the offense. I feel that there's hope in the offense, but I feel like there's some inconsistency, especially on the line. Number one, I feel like that's the biggest inconsistency is in the protection on the line, and then with the wide receivers. I've been liking Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo, as well as Terrace Marshall Jr., but I feel like I've still seen inconsistency with those guys. And Adam Thielen, love him, hate him, whatever your thoughts may be on, that guy is solid, and he seems to be the most consistent. So I feel like regardless of what happens today, the team is already set to be on this kind of, just imagine a big train, how it just takes a moment to build up steam. And so for me, feeling like they're already going to be a team that just takes a little bit by the midseason, they'll be in a good form. I'm not going to panic if they do bad. To me, that just gives the coach an opportunity to make those corrections. And I'm not going to get overly excited if they do well, because it's still just a small sample, right? Got to keep that in perspective. It's just going to be a small sample of a 17-week season of a team that hasn't game planned for things and what's to come. But nevertheless, let's go ahead now. I've talked a lot. Get into your question and answer. Let me just make sure that I got through everything that I wanted to get through, which I think I did. And I'm just double checking here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into these questions. Now, it is pretty bright out here, so this is my monitor down here, which you can't see. So if you see me doing this a little bit during the show, I'm just simply trying to read your questions and I interact with you guys. So let's go ahead and start to get into these questions, because we got a lot of them coming. All right, T Green. I want to give a special shout out to T Green, one of our members who has signed on. She said that she was the first one here. Appreciate it very much. Got to give her some extra sound effects for that. If you're interested in becoming a member, I encourage you to do so. There's a link in the description. Allows you to do so. I do some videos exclusively for my members, so you'll have an opportunity to do that. But it just gives you an opportunity to also support this channel. We're independent media, supported 100% by our viewers. So anytime that somebody has the opportunity to become a member, support us with a super chat. I appreciate it and hope that you will do so. Corey Ruffin, AKA Lotto Chunks. What's going on? I appreciate you tuning in. Donald Byers, another member tuning in. There we go. Give him some props. All right, so we got some questions here. Is Xavier Legette playing? So what I'm gonna be doing is watching for the official list to come out. I would say that it may be out by now, so I'm gonna take a look and make sure I bring that to you. So that official list is not out yet. Should be coming out any moment. So again, that official list is not out yet, but my opinion, he would play today. That's my opinion. You should expect to see all the starters today on both sides of the ball based on what Coach Dave Canales said to us the other day. So we'll see how that works out. Let's go ahead and go through some more of these questions here. Appreciate the question, Camden. Mike Long said, let's go get this W. You know, it's actually a pretty good chance that we'll get this W. Again, they gave up 33 points in that first game and only gave up 3 in that second game, but they also only scored 9 points and haven't scored a touchdown. So in terms of a win today, I think there's a very good chance that the Carolina Panthers will get a W today. Appreciate the comment, Mike Long. Let's see. Another question about who's playing. Don't know yet. The official list is not out yet. Corey Horton. Corey Horton. What's up, man? The people. Yes, I'm here bringing you action, covering this Carolina Panthers team. Nicole, another member, signing on, saying happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. All right, so let's get into some more of these questions here. All right. Hope to see Denise Pickney. Hope to see Sam Pickney III playing. Now, if you are related to him, hey, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, you better be cheering on your family member if you guys are indeed related. Word on the street is Bryce Young's footwork is getting better. So I'm not one of those people that's a quarterback whisperer and can look at all the details and mechanics of his footwork, his release, and that type of thing. I've just been looking at his overall play. And for me, his overall play has improved from last year. Seeing him make those decisions quickly and hearing his teammates talk about the fact that even when he scrambles, when Bryce is moving around, that he still has a sense of timing and can still play things on time, which is important for the blockers up front to keep his protection. If they don't know how long he's going to be back there and where he's going, that's work, you know. You got to keep moving around, filling out where he is, but knowing that just keep your guy in front of you and Bryce is still going to get rid of that ball quickly helps the linemen do their job and keeping him upright. So that's the best feedback that I can give you in regards to Bryce. Again, not being a guy that really, really looks at his mechanics. Do what Donald said, give us a subscribe if you haven't done so. Greatly appreciate that. We are, man, just on the cusp of 10,500. I think I need about 13 more subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. So our Ken88 says online, and if the receivers can get open, that's who you're going to be watching today. So yeah, I've seen, and unfortunately, you know, I like this guy, but I feel like I've seen a lot of Taylor Moton getting beat. I wouldn't say a lot. I've seen several times where Taylor Moton has been getting beat in practice when he's going up against Jadeveon Clowney. All right, I've also seen Derek Brown work the edges on both sides. So that's going to be icky as well, that you have that to deal with. And you just hope it got quiet. So I feel like somebody get hurt or they're watching some things. I don't know. It's and shouts out to the Buffalo Bills Mafia, right? Of course, I'm for Carolina and want them to win. When I'm reporting, I'm objectional, but the fans are out. We got to the stadium about 3 hours before, and this is a Saturday morning, 3 hours before the game, preseason game. They're 1-1, and it looked just like a regular season game, maybe an afternoon game where you see people are out in droves. So I've never seen, again, this is my first time being up in Buffalo. Pretty cool to see. And again, I'll give you guys a pan before I get off of here. But going back to Ken's question, O-line have seen some troubles on the tackles part, and we're gonna see what happens today with it. But it certainly will be something to watch. Receiver-wise, what will be the biggest receiver? But touching on him, Deontay Johnson, I don't know if he's going to be active today. Deontay had been battling an illness, and even before it was announced that he had an illness, he wasn't a full participant in practice. So I feel like it's, not too likely that we'll see Deontay. So that will give more opportunities for Mingo. That will give more opportunities for Terrace Marshall Jr. as well as, Amir Smith-Marset, who's a guy that against the Jets got some extended time. It's extended extended time out on the field for some opportunities. So that'll be a guy that you want to be watching out, see how they do as they have to make some cuts from this wide receiver room. Appreciate the question, Ken, very much. Let me again check and see. That list should be out pretty quickly. And I lost my light. I think it may have overheated. Hopefully you guys can still see me well, but I did lose my light. Give me just a second. I'm trying to see if that official list has come out to us yet. So that official list is here. So this is live, and I'm got to check something with the camera, but I'm going to let you guys get a little view of everything that's going on, and then we'll go over this inactive list. So here, just for another second, I'm going to let you guys soak in the view. Ivero's about to walk by. You can see some other players walking by. So again, about another 30 seconds, we're going to resume, and we're going to go over this inactive list for the Carolina Panthers, which will answer all the questions that have been coming through so far.
How are you doing today? Doing great. Doing good. You're right here through the stanchion. Enjoy, okay?
All righty. So let's go ahead and continue to rock on through. Oh, I forgot to zoom back in, so give me 1 second. Sorry. All right. So I apologize. You cannot see me as well. My light has gone out, but I know you guys can hear me well. Let's go ahead and go through this full inactive list for your Carolina Panthers today. Running back Raheem Blackshear, inactive. Running back Raheem Blackshear. You also have outside linebacker Jadeveon Clowney. He will not be playing today. You have cornerback J.C. Horn. He will be out today. Cornerback Dane Jackson. He will be inactive today. Running back Jonathan Brooks, no surprise here at all. He's been injured. He's inactive. The next few are kind of no surprises. Safety Xavier Woods, he's been dealing with an injury. He's inactive. Linebacker Tay Davis, he's inactive. Outside linebacker Amari Barno will be inactive as well. Safety Sam Franklin Jr., inactive. Center, all right. So here are some interesting ones where I'm going to start to have an opinion about what's going to happen today. But our center, Austin Corbett, he's out today. This is really interesting to me. Guard Cade Mays, he is inactive today. Damian Lewis is inactive. Josh Neisman, who was recently activated from the physically unable to perform, no surprise there that he is inactive today. Tight end Ian Thomas, tight end Tommy Trimble. So that means our guy Jatavian Sanders. We are live. Are you? Man, Steve, how you doing?
Good.
Glad to see you. Good to see our analyst for today. How you feeling today?
It's pretty good. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with these receivers? Or which receiver are you going to be looking at today? Because we've had Terrace Marshall having a pretty good camp.
Yeah.
We've had Deontay Johnson. He's dealing with an illness, and I think he is going to be.
Yeah, he's been sick this week.
But he's active because he's not on the inactive list.
Okay.
So we got Deontay, and so Deontay, Jonathan, and Terrace. Tell me what you think about those three and what you may be looking for from them. Because I feel like there's a little bit of inconsistency. I feel like these guys are on the up and up, but I feel like there's been a little inconsistency with them.
I mean, inconsistency is going to be natural when you're getting into a new offense with a new system, new responsibilities, maybe adjustments going from X to Z, Z to X, or to F or Y. Different assignments. The way this offense is constructed is used a little bit differently than last year.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, players and coaches, whether the coach is new or the player is old, there's a level that everyone has to get familiar with each other, and then also gain the trust of what you say will actually show up on the field, and what you say in the classroom will show up on the field as a coach as well. So everybody's filling each other out, and I think the human element, people don't really put that in a factor of like, hey, he's your boss, but yet we still have to gain each other's trust because we're both new to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love Canales and the way that he gets relationships with his players and his coaches has been impressive. He just now waited until this third preseason game to get these starters some action. One of the things I just saw here was our center, Austin Corbett's inactive. To me, it's okay, that's your main guy that's giving him the ball. How much do you think we should see these starters out here today, given the fact that they haven't played all preseason and what you can get out of the game, that whole thing that you want to consider?
Well, when you look at just, this is a business about perception. And perception is reality. And you see other teams, their starters have been playing in the first and the second game. But one of the things, I was talking to a few players, and they've been wanting to play. But the coaching staff has kind of held them back a little bit just because of with the injuries. I talked to an assistant general manager for the Buffalo Bills coming in, and he was like, hey, we just, even with our 2s and 3s that are playing, we just want to hope no one gets hurt. Like, depth is really something that's extremely important, and as fans, I get the frustration of not seeing your starters. But if you're going to lose a starter for a couple of weeks, do you want to lose him in a preseason game that doesn't matter, or you want to lose him in a game where he's contributing, possibly helping you win, but you lose him, but he still gets to play in that regular season? That's the dichotomy that these coaches are in, and then technology is telling you workload and all that stuff. So that's where the scientific and the technology kind of comes in. But at the end of the day, statistics, analytics cannot check some man's heart.
Right.
So that's what I love looking and watching out.
Yeah, I appreciate the drop by. One last comment is that I really like what Dave talked about. Is the reason I really wanted the starters to play, because we got so much new stuff. We got a new coordinator. We got a new coach.
Yes.
We got some new free agents. And I just want to see, and he's a first-year coach, not just a new coach at Carolina. And I just want to see them go through the process one time in live action. He spoke about the morning meetings, the prep that goes into it.
The routine.
Yeah.
The routine is extremely important. We're a creature of a habit, especially in ball, especially in sports. You have routines. And when your routine is thrown off, or you never really done it, you got to kind of do it enough times to know, hey, when unforeseen circumstances come in, I can adjust and still get back in my routine, and doesn't throw me off rhythm, to be able to be functional and to be on my P's and Q's before the game.
Yeah. Steve, greatly appreciate it, man. I love seeing you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the game, and I'll see you soon.
All right, I'll see you at church tomorrow.
We got to talk to the wife. We got a bunch of kids to get in there. That was Steve Smith with an unexpected visit, and I'm a little bummed because my lights were out. But nevertheless, if you can have Steve Smith pop onto your show, you got to take advantage of it. So let's go ahead and work through the rest of this list here. We have, I think I left off at center, Austin Corbett, who is out. Guard, Cade Mays, he is out. You also have guard, Damian Lewis is out. Me and Steve already touched on this. If you're going to put Bryce out there, some of the talk was like, Coach Canal said, I want all the guys to be out there. And I want the whole unit to be able to go through something together, make sure we're going to execute the plays, make sure that his guys are going to be able to play fast. Well, you're leaving out some key pieces here. So I'm feeling like we're going to see some handoffs, and I feel like we're going to see maybe one series. I don't want to keep Bryce out there and you're missing what will be most of his starting linemen, all right? But nevertheless, you got tackle Yosh Nijman, which I think I've already touched on. Oh, I already went to actually backtrack. Ian Thomas, Tommy Tremble, Jaden Crumity, defensive end Jaden Crumity, and outside linebacker DJ Warner. So there you have it. It was asked earlier about Xavier Leggett. Xavier will certainly be out there based on the current list that we have today. So let's go ahead and work through some more of these questions. We got about 5 more minutes that we could be out here. So let's go ahead and go through these 5 more minutes and see what other questions may have popped up out there.
The Toyota Club or the entire club proceed up the seating area into the club and out of the nearest exit door to gate level at the east or west end of each club. Once there, exit the stadium.
Nadar asked for a Panthers fan, hit the like button. So, I'm going to go ahead and plug this again, right? So we are independent media, meaning we're 100% supported by you guys. We don't have any company writing us a big check to be able to have the resources to do all that we do. But I tell you this, the bigger that we grow, the more that it makes it easy for players to be interviewed, that you see me do, players and coaches, as well as guys like Steve Smith. They don't mind stopping by the show for a second, giving me a few minutes of their time, because it's good when they know there's going to be an audience that hears what they have to say. So if you've been enjoying the content, if you like a guy like Steve Smith, even though I'm not saying he's going to stop by again, just help us continue to grow, and I promise we'll continue to do all the things that you like us to do and have some interactive content with you, all right? All right, so we've got about 5 more minutes, so about 2 more questions that we'll take, and then I got to head up to the press box so I can continue to report on the game. We're going to have photographs that are coming. We do have our photographer here in Buffalo as well. He'll be feeding you photos from the game. So during the game, head on over to Twitter. I'll be able to keep you up to date, in tune with every single thing that's going on that way. All right, so let's try to get a few more out of here. Let's see.
Mobile warming apparel technologies.
Man, it's so bright out here. I can't see my screen to make some changes. So bear with me.
Fans,
all right,
make sure to check out
here we go.
The Bills presented by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. You'll have the opportunity each week.
Oh yeah, somebody said Anchor Bar. Anchor Bar, yeah, that is where I went last night and got some wings.
And exclusive experiences. Enter the game now.
TMJ says we're wearing blue. We are wearing our blue jerseys and white bottoms. Blue jerseys and white bottoms is what we're wearing. Is Carolina going to rotate other wide receivers today? I would imagine they're going to get through as many guys as they can. I mean, it's still a preseason game. You're not going to see those starters in there very long at all. So the whole depth chart will get some action today. So be on the lookout for that. Chris, while the starters will be out there, do you feel like it will be a vanilla offense as far as the play calling? Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be vanilla, 100%. And I would encourage him to do that, because one thing that you have a huge advantage of, me and Steve were just talking about, I'm glad that the coach is going to play the starters today, so everybody goes through that routine of calling in plays, getting substitutions in and out. All those things that happened during the game, and just going through it for the first time. Didn't want it to be doing an actual game, because I feel like that could be an issue. But you also want to keep things vanilla because people will not know what to expect during the game, which is handy, right? There's a helpful thing to do where people don't know what to expect, people haven't seen things before, and you can go ahead and get that advantage, that competitive advantage. Now, it won't last forever because people are going to have tape on you. They're going to learn your tendencies, but keep every single advantage that you can as long as you can. So, yes, keep it vanilla. Even things such as the whole the kickoff. That's important, that you haven't seen people do everything that they could do on that kickoff. Will they try some tricks? Will they try some throwbacks? I personally feel like there's a pretty good opportunity on that kickoff to pop something, because now you got everybody that's kind of standing flat-footed after the ball is catched. They can't move until that ball is caught. Now, so you don't have that speed, but the guys who are receiving the ball, they have some speed and momentum, right? So if I can keep you flat-footed because you're not running yet, and I go to the right, left, wherever I go, and there's a hole, I feel like it's now harder for the defense to get to you. But you have to figure out how that could work, but I feel like that may be an opportunity for you to do so. Appreciate the question, Seeker. And let's get through one more question here. 1 p.m. kick. All right.
Sorry.
All right, we got time for one more question, and then I got to get out of here. Do we anticipate Andy Dalton playing? He's not inactive, so I do feel like we're going to be able to see Andy Dalton playing. At this point, unfortunately, I have to go ahead and wrap it up. I will get into the comments as best I can to answer more of your questions, but we got to get off the field by noon, and I got to start breaking things down. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Hat tip to Steve Smith for stopping by, giving me a few minutes of his time. I'm going to head up to the press box. I want you guys to switch over to Twitter, and we'll be talking to you again live approximately 1 hour or less after the game. We're going to go live down here on the field to recap everything and get you up to date. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe.